All right, so there's a lot going on right now, and I want to keep you guys informed. Jamaica's stock market has actually had a solid run. The main index is up about 13.6% over past year as of early July, and it's climbed almost 5% in just the last month alone. Now, that's the kind of number that gets people asking themselves, can I actually get into stock trading? Can I actually earn some of this return? So today I want to do two things: explain what that number means and walk you through how you actually invest, along with what you're generally risking if you do decide to invest. Now, before I get into the video, I just want to put a quick disclaimer here. I am not a financial advisor, and nothing here is a recommendation to buy any specific stock. This is purely to help you understand how the stock market works in Jamaica. Now, I'm going to start off by looking at what the Jamaica Stock Exchange, or the JSE, actually is. And it's something that trips people up immediately because there really isn't a single number or a single thing that is called the JSE. The exchange actually tracks several different indices. There's the JSE Main Market Index, the All Jamaican Composite Index, which measures all ordinary Jamaican company shares on the main market. You have the Combined Index, which covers both the main and junior markets together, and the Select Index. And this Select Index tracks the 15 most liquid stocks. Now, there's also a separate junior market for smaller companies and a US dollar denominated market where securities trade in US dollars instead of Jamaican dollars. So when you hear someone says that the Jamaica Stock Exchange is up 13%, it's worth your while asking them which specific index they're talking about, because to be truthful, they all don't move identically. As one snapshot in late February this year shows, the All Jamaican Composite Index closed at just over 400,000 points, while the Select Index closed at roughly 8,296 points. Completely different scales, and they are also tracking overlapping but unique groups of companies. So let's say you want to actually invest some money in the stock exchange and benefit from some of these earnings. Here's the real mechanical process how it works, straight from the exchange's own investor guidance. Now, you can't trade directly on the Jamaica Stock Exchange yourself. You have to go through what is called a licensed stockbroker. They are officially called JSE member/dealer, and they're authorized by both the JSE and Jamaica's Financial Services Commission. All right, so you choose a broker, you open an account with that broker, and as a part of opening that account, they will give you what is called a JCSD, as a Jamaica Central Security Depository account, and they are an electronic subsidiary, and they hold on to the shares once you own them. So when you purchase the shares through your broker will say, hey, you've bought X number of shares in Y company, and those shares are actually held with the JCSD, not with your broker. So bear that in mind. Once your account's open and funded, you simply tell your broker what you want to buy or sell and how much, and they will carry out the trade on your behalf on the exchange's electronic trading platform. Now, once you've purchased a share in a company, you can then benefit from that company's performance in two ways. Through number one, what is called price appreciation, and that if the stock's value rises over time. So you buy stock A for $5, and then within a year it goes to $5.50. The value of that share would have gone up by 10%. Now, the next way that you can earn from that stock is through dividends. And of course, dividends are what you receive when a company's directors decide to pay out a portion of their profits to their shareholders. All right, so what does it actually cost to invest in the stock market? Now, your broker charges a commission each time you buy or sell a stock. So when you buy, you pay for the value of the stock plus a commission. And on the other hand, when you sell, the commission comes out of what you would receive. As for how much you need to actually start to invest, this varies quite a bit based on the broker that you choose to do business with. And I treat any specific number that you see online as a rough guide rather than a gospel. So this is because minimums and requirements are set individually by each brokerage firm and not the Jamaica Stock Exchange itself. So buyer beware. Now here's the part that actually matters most. A good 12-month number doesn't tell you what you're actually exposed to. So first, you just need to look at how much the market can swing over a longer stretch. Jamaica's combined index, for example, hit an all-time high of about 519,000 points earlier this month, if I'm not mistaken. And if you go back in time to about 5 years earlier, in July 2014, it was hovering about a record low of 72,755 points. Now, that is by no means a small range. And if a market can move that dramatically over time, it can easily move against you as for you. So you need to bear that in mind. Second of all, the stock exchange, the JSE, is genuinely small. It's small and it's concentrated compared to something like the New York Stock Exchange or even other regional exchanges. We have fewer companies, less daily trading volume, and this generally means that it's going to be a little bit more difficult to sell a position quickly at the price you want to get out at compared to a larger, more liquid market. On a single ordinary trading day, for example, earlier this year in January, the total market volume across the entire exchange was about 39 million units traded. That's across 111 stocks. That's the whole market on one day, a genuinely small pool compared to global exchanges. Third, and this is one that some people tend to overlook, a strong year like this one doesn't necessarily predict what will happen next year. Now, individual stocks on the Jamaica Stock Exchange can also move very differently from the index as a whole. So, in one concrete example that I can share with you, one JC listed company saw its share price fall 23% over just 90 days, even while the broader market was posting solid gains elsewhere in the same period. So the market is up and your specific stock is up are two different statements. So bear that in mind. So in closing, this is how I would sum it up. Yes, the Jamaica Stock Exchange is genuinely strong and it's been moving in the right direction recently. And the actual process of investing in it is more accessible than a lot of people assume. You don't have to have a whole lot of cash to get involved. You don't have to be well connected or know somebody. You just need to be willing to go through a licensed broker. But of course, you do some homework before you do that. Now, what you need to separate is the distinction or the difference between accessible and safe. They are not the same word. It's still a real market with real volatility, a smaller pool of liquidity, and individual stocks that can move in the opposite direction of the headline number entirely. Now, if you're thinking about this seriously, the honest next step isn't a YouTube video. Of course, this is a starting point, and I'd always love for you to come back to my channel. But the best next thing to do is to have a conversation with a licensed broker or financial advisor who can actually look at your specific situation. Now, I'd like to hear from you. Have you looked into investing locally, or does this feel like unfamiliar territory? Let me know, and that's what's going on. I'll catch you in the next one.